Hey, how's it going? I'm Zero.
I'm DK.
And I'm Rizzo, and today on Anime Reaction, we watched the 5th episode of Youjo Senki. If you want to check out our reaction to the 5th episode of Youjo Senki, hit that link in the description below.
And be sure to give us feedback in the comment section because we love hearing from you.
And as always, if you like what you see, subscribe to Otaku Saga, and don't forget to like and share our videos.
And thanks for watching. So, on this episode of Youjo Senki,
The shit-eating grins were strong in this one.
Yeah.
Oh, Tanya.
But we start off right where we left off last episode, where Victoria comes back, reporting for duty.
kind of uselessly introducing herself, because of regulations.
Hello, I'm Second
Pretty
Lieutenant.
much.
Yeah. Hello, I'm Second Lieutenant Victoria Sarabriakova. I had that fucking name. All these fucking names, actually.
German.
But yeah, it's
So that sounds Russian. What the hell?
again, I think I said it in the first episode, but there was a lot of people of Russian descent in Germany at the time. So it's not exactly uncommon, especially considering that Germany spread through basically modern day Poland.
True, and also given the time period, maybe people fleeing the emerging Soviet Union.
Yeah, maybe.
That probably makes sense.
I don't know. They haven't really gone into it at this point.
Yeah. And also alternate universe.
But
we get to see the selection process.
Yeah, it's because it's not just Victoria who's going to help Tanya hasten her death. I mean, get her to the front lines quicker. Oh no, Victoria brought backup.
Yep. What was it? 24 unused MPs.
Yep,
To help sort through the paperwork.
Yeah, she basically went over Tanya's head, which is easy to do. Everything else does.
All you
All you got to do is hop a little bit.
Exactly.
Tanya figured out a test that pretty
Actually,
much.
I was quite impressed by the test.
I was very impressed.
Basically, she creates a fake, creates with magic a fake, I guess, general? Or creates a copy of a real life general, probably.
Yeah.
And she has the recruits go in to see him, and then he sends them to go do something else. And basically, if they don't tell that he's a fake copy, then they automatically fail. Which we get to see in a pretty funny little like bam 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 scene where it shows two recruits, and then suddenly they're like packing their bags, and then they report, and then it's back to the airport, and then
Failed. Very rapid fire. But the true genius of the plan, not only is it a good way to screen a recruit, at least according to Tanya's standards, it also buys her time because she fails so many. And she's sitting there with the guy from Strategic HQ and showing them, so she's making herself look good and still getting her way. It really is genius.
Especially when it came down to that scene where there was a poor recruit, sitting there in front of said fake general, and being told that the new mage battalion is basically a propaganda setup, and don't worry about it, and go on, be on your way. Mm-hmm. And the guy basically just just moves on with his day, and then it's you get Tanya, literally in the wall. The wall comes down, and
it's like an awesome magical version of a one-way mirror.
Yeah, and she explains to what's his name from
the general.
Zator.
Yeah, Zator.
She tells Zator that any notable mage would be able to see that there's something wrong here and tell that there's magic being used in some way, and because no one even bothers to look, I mean, at such a obvious trap, just about.
There you go. What's to say?
Basically, if you can't see such a simple trick, then you're worthless as a mage.
or at least worthless to her battalion.
Yeah, worthless to her standards anyway. But so, as much as this does buy a little bit of time, she does eventually find the people that she needs, and then Zator basically asks her when they'll be ready, and she comes up with the insane figure of a month for training. Whereas, what do you say? Normal soldiers, it's like
2 years.
Or 2 years. So I think that she could have, dragged that out a little bit longer. And she was honestly in the back of her mind, she was like,
well, I wanted to think that she also had to speed some part of it up in order to kind of take some of the heat off her, because she was kind of stalling for time already through the selection process thus far.
And this way she gets to have fun for a month.
Oh boy, does she!
Like she attempts really hard to get the entire battalion to quit.
Yeah,
to quit or killed.
That's basically her entire goal for the training, is to get them to give up.
And
in a way, it was perfect that she was quoting Gunny Hartman.
Yeah.
But it really backfires, especially in one specific scene.
Well, I think she fails to realize just how patriotic these people are.
I think she has underestimated it.
Yeah.
But we'll get there. On the first day of training,
she blows up their camp.
Here's your wake-up call. You're welcome.
No need to thank me.
I didn't plan on it, bitch.
On the first day of mage camp.
Yeah.
And I see how came to me. A big explosion of TP.
And 36 hours
of non-stop shelling.
Oh yeah,
with practice rounds that are intermixed with real rounds
from the artillery unit.
Yes. Who doesn't know that they're firing on their own people, and who are guided by Tanya launching a flare.
Yeah, I just like that whole thing, like the whole scene where you see Victoria in the background, doesn't say a word, doesn't look up, doesn't even look up at Tanya for the most part. She just picks up a shovel and digs a fucking foxhole.
Gotta give her major kudos on that one.
I'm out. Right?
It's like, I know how this bitch works. She says it. She's serious.
Right.
It's like, nope.
Nope.
And then the other guys, they just stall for time, and here come the shells. Then they start digging. And sure enough, one guy's talking, oh man, we'll be able to dig it. Boom! Fuck your sentence.
Or, oh, we should be able to block training shells, no problems with our magic.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize there were real shells mixed in there.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
36 hours later.
After 36 hours of continuous shelling, she tells them that they have 48 hours to march to a certain location, and they have to march there. If they use magic, then she will start using magic against them.
Yeah. Off you go.
Off you go.
Off you go through a snow-saturated mountain valley. So 1, you're trudging against the snow. 2, you're completely in the open. Nothing but the trenches you leave behind the hide-in. And it's being patrolled by reconnaissance aircraft and bombers, really.
Yep.
Well, around this time, they were kind of used for the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, we did look at that aircraft. I can't find anything that it's like 100% accurate to, but it does look very similar to what it was at the Albatross.
The Albatross
C3 or the Albatross C7.
There was another.
It is
German interwar.
Yeah, actually, those are World War One. Those are both World War One. But it is very similar. It's not entirely accurate.
It does look the part.
Yeah, through our research, our little quick research between the episode and our discussion, we found 3 or 4 that it looks very similar to, but nothing is really perfect.
Yeah.
Let's see. Another one was the Zeppelin. Another one was what was that? one that started with a D.
Donier?
There's things that look close, but
Nothing
Not
looked
quite.
exactly
nothing quite.
right.
So
Well-
I think that they just compiled a whole bunch of them, just like, okay, let's put all these together.
Yeah, I mean, here are a bunch of, World War One bombers. Draw something similar.
Yeah.
And they did.
Yeah,
so
pretty
good
much.
on them.
The other one I want to point out was during the earlier part where it was like really quick, and then it shows the two.
The recruits.
The two
failing.
recruits standing at the airport. It shows an aircraft sitting there, which is a Junkers. It's basically just a transport plane. Also used as a bomber too. But
Yep.
There you go.
so that one looked actually pretty accurate. So
Once again, bonus points for realism. Well done.
yeah, it at least looks the part.
Yeah.
Yes.
It looks like it would be a plane made in an era. Maybe not an exact copy of a real deal.
Keeping in mind that this isn't the real world.
Yeah.
Like it is a different universe. It just happens to be very, very, very similar.
Yeah. Similar enough to warrant mention
Yeah.
and merit, I think.
But we continue on our march, in which one they kind of spread out a little bit, and they're going through Mountain Pass, and nothing really is going on anymore. And one of them's like, "God damn it, I can't take it!" And just
The fucking bitch!
And once you know
hollers
it,
out.
As loud as he can.
and triggers a fucking avalanche.
That almost kills him. And
the battalion, yes.
And the rest of the battalion.
After, I can only believe it was probably after about 20 minutes. I don't know. It seemed pretty quick, but you also gotta give time for the avalanche to actually settle down. Tanya shows up, and but a few people are.
Yeah, well, everybody's trying to dig themselves out. And then we see that the guy that yelled out is not breathing, so Tanya goes over and applies a little TLC.
And by TLC we mean a kick to the back, and
It's so amusing because there's one guy who's like, "No, you can't die," and then Tanya just shows up, bam,
kick just vomits out snow.
Well, yeah, I imagine it's kind of the knowing where to apply pressure.
I gotta say, I mean, for a kick flying into the guy, that was a very well placed kick.
And at this point, everybody realizes we're not getting out of this alive.
Or no, if we try to quit, we'll meet a fate worse than death.
Yeah. But yeah, basically it all backfires on her there because they basically all doubled down on their training.
Yeah,
So-
and again, we must bring up Full Metal Jacket because the guy who looks like like Private Pyle pretty much rallies the rest of the troops.
And then fast forward to the end of the month and they're done with training.
And she
Tanya,
hasn't killed a single one.
And Tanya
she realizes her failure.
realizes her failure,
/
but
success.
for their final formation where they're standing on the parade grounds and she's addressing the troops, she literally quotes Full Metal Jacket
Yep.
line for line.
Line for line with just changing, Imperial Army.
Yeah,
That's it.
like just changing like a couple of details. It's like
Yeah.
I don't blame Tanya one bit for doing it because
it
that's
works.
something that I would do.
Yeah.
Come on now. Every Gunji otaku has quoted Gunny Hartman at least several times in their lives.
Right?
It's like an unwritten rule of the community. You have to.
Oh, it's a good speech. Like,
Yeah.
despite how odd it seems.
No, every word the man says in Full Metal Jacket is gold. You can watch the first half of the movie and be content. You could skip over the parts where they're actually in Vietnam.
Right.
That's actually what I usually do.
Mainly because the
Arlie Army,
those later
good
parts
guy.
are so bizarre.
It's
A
more
war movie, anti-war movie.
vintage Kubrick.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's a pretty decent speech. It's definitely a very patriotic speech. All you soldiers, you're soldiers. You're gonna die. That's what you're meant to do. But through your actions, the Empire.
yeah, the Imperial Army lives forever, ever. Therefore, you live forever.
Nice speech.
Yeah, classic. I was totally expecting her to get shot in a bathroom.
Yeah, then we see a part where they're back in, not Berlin, and she's back in her office, and she's kind of like collapsed on the table because she used her gym too much.
Well, on, 72? No, longer than that. 36 hours she was mostly up in the air.
Well, she was training them for a month.
There you go. Oh, there you go.
However much rest they got, she got.
Mm-hmm.
Not a whole lot.
Yeah. But then while she's trying to relax a little bit, she's given orders to go down to the southeastern garrison.
Well, she's sent there by, Rurugan?
Yeah, Rurugan. Eric von Rurugan. And so she goes to speak with him directly. And, she basically says, oh, the troops aren't ready yet.
Of course, trying to sell for time.
Well, they've qualified for their 8,000.
Yeah, they can fly above 8,000 feet.
Yeah, they've qualified 8,000 feet. They're all using the brand new Soul Gem.
Type 97, like she are now.
Soul Gems.
Soul Gems.
That's what I keep wanting to call them. But I mean, she's
computation gems, I think.
So they're using all the like brand new ones, even newer than Tanya's.
Yeah.
Because as she mentioned, the professor owed her a favor. But yeah, basically she's not given the ability to deny the order. So
at this point, that she still considers them a training battalion.
Yeah.
Which brings the next point even further into hysteria for me. Because she finds out that the Southeastern Theater...
What is it, Dirt? Or Dort?
Not Romania, or not Austria-Hungary.
No, well, okay, so given the map that they're showing us, it kind of melds Germany and Austria-Hungary kind of into one entity, which, for all intents and purposes, in the First World War, they really were. Like, Germany helped out Austria-Hungary so much that...
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of splitting hairs. And then the country that they're fighting was in the general area that Romania was in during the First World War. Indeed, I think modern day. But
it was like dirt of.
But it's not like an exact like shape of the country or anything.
No, just close enough. It's close
enough that you could call it not Romania. And then also the fact that when they entered the war, which they entered the war late, and they were hopelessly out of date with all of their military tactics, and
that brings to the point you're going to make.
Yeah.
Tanya starts scrounging for intel on the Southeastern Theater, and
she can't believe what she hears.
It sounds like a trap.
No enemy air support.
What?
No encrypted messages. No enemy encrypted messages.
What?
And all of its ground troops, basically, and they are all marching in formation.
Yeah. So no armor. Yeah. No tracked vehicles of any sort. No vehicles of any sort, from what we see later. They're basically using
that's not unusual for the First World War.
They're using like colonial European or Napoleonic tactics here.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. They're using like Napoleonic tactics. I mean, you look at their uniforms. They got brightly colored uniforms.
March in straight formation, fire rifles and volleys.
Oh, and we were shown not exactly perfect representations of the tactic, but there's a tactic that they use later where they like bunch up into kind of diamond shapes, which is very similar to a tactic that the British military used, where they get into square shapes and they point all their
muskets.
The muskets with the bayonets.
Oh.
They point them all out, and horses aren't going to run into that.
A wedge formation.
No, not a wedge. It's a square.
Oh,
Yeah.
because basically everybody can face outwards and still shoot
Oh, okay.
and everything. But since you got all those basically pikes at this point, no horse is gonna run into that. But that was the basic tactic, which is a Napoleonic era tactic when cavalry was really huge.
But the hysteria really comes to the forefront when Tanya tells her battalion, "All right, guys, it's time for us to head off to war." Well, something similar to war. And by the way, it's my birthday, and I think that they gave me a fantastic gift because what we're gonna do is a aerial training,
A live fire exercise.
an aerial live fire mission.
Wow.
Yeah.
Basically, it was like shooting fish in a barrel.
I tried to refrain from saying that cliched line that entire scene, but that's exactly what it was.
It was literally like
Point and click, you can't miss.
just start shooting. You'll hit something. I mean, there's 600,000 of them or something ridiculous
That
like
was
that.
the estimate given. But then, Tanya does kind of reevaluate. Oh, how silly to call them battalions. It's more
Or
like
divisions.
divisions. It's more like a mob, really. About 50,000.
A 50,000 strong mob.
Shoot.
Yeah, pretty much. And then Tanya takes her portion of the battalion down straight to the enemy's HQ camp and just lands right in the middle of camp.
Meanwhile, like in the main battlefield's like, "Get down here, you bastard!"
Yeah. You bastards!
It
you
is.
cowards.
It is sad.
But
Oh
yeah,
my God.
they land in the main enemy camp.
Right in the middle of
And
camp.
she's just
Everyone's
like-
home.
Yeah, you guys need to surrender.
So the camp, the commanding officer takes out his service pistol, fires off a few rounds, sees the shields work, and then makes the brilliant decision to have his troops open fire.
And then Tanya's like, "Okay, kill everybody but the commander."
All right.
2 shots.
Yeah, it was literally
Everybody had 2 shots. Kaprap, kaprap.
Done.
battle over. We see their commander
Like
bound
next
and
frame.
gagged, and they're basically taking all of the
Take the
intelligence.
Intelligence, gear, and
Basically,
put a booby trap on that corpse.
everything worth anything,
Yeah.
everything of military importance, and booby trapping corpses.
All right, so where are we off to? Where are we off to next, Commander?
Well, she goes outside, and the rest of the battalion had caught up, and the guy, First Lieutenant something or other,
Private Pile.
yeah, he's like, "Shall we mop up the rest of them?" Well, when's our Air Forces coming in?
The 7th Division will be here soon. You know what? Leave that to them. We're going to the capital.
Oh wait, what?
We're a battalion that can move forward. Let's do this.
That's what they're meant to do.
There you go.
So they go straight to the enemy's capital, and they're sitting and they're looking over the enemy's main munitions factory.
Because that's all they can attack under international law.
Something we didn't really point out in the battle, the fish in a barrel battle.
The live fire exercise.
Private, what was the nickname you gave him? Private Pile.
Private Pile.
He's in charge of a group, and he decides to play really closely to regulations and rule sets. So when the diamond formation shows up, he backs off.
Right, that's the
Even
doctrine of
though
the day.
the infantry's weapons can't even touch them
Yeah.
at that altitude.
Yeah.
But he's playing it too much by the book. This pisses Tanya off because that's not how she
So
rolls.
when she gets to the capital, that same private pile is like, okay, so why aren't we firing on the ammunition? Why aren't we firing on the ammunition factory? Why aren't we doing something? And she's like, oh yeah, I forgot. Well, somebody decided to play too much by the rules, so I guess that's what we're gonna have to do.
Well, it wasn't exactly like that, because
That's the sense I got.
no, well, she was kind of discussing it with Victoria, and she orders Victoria to send the message, and then she looks back and...
Well, actually, before that, though, Victoria said, was egging the go. But then Tanya said something to the effect, oh, come on now, we're not barbarians who would break international law.
Yeah, and, well, basically she orders Victoria to do it, and then she looks back... And then she looks back and she sees Private Pile there, and she's like, "Oh yeah, you want to follow the letter of the law or whatever. I guess it would be better if I sent it." So she grabs the microphone and does her best 9-year-old cutesy voice.
I did not see that coming.
Nobody saw that coming.
Especially
hey, we're here to tell you that we're going to war.
You better evacuate.
Yep, we're going to attack. You better evacuate.
Huh? That works.
Artillery spells.
It seems like everybody thinks that's a 9-year-old's joke. Fantastic.
She technically followed international law.
Still evil.
Artillery spells.
Boom. No more munitions factory, and you get a second explosion when the magazine bursts.
What a birthday, right?
Oh, look, they even gave us a fireworks show after the exercise.
All right, troops, head back home.
Let's head home.
Later, bitches. Fucking hell.
Hilarious.
Yeah, for wanting to
I
delay
almost
it,
can't
Tanya's
wait
having
to
a
see the fallout from this.
Well, you gotta have Tanya riding really high before she gets her comeuppance, though. It's just the way it has to be.
But yeah, this was an epic little piece. TranZenTion, you on Twitter. Said that there might be a little bit too many uses of 3D. I disagree. I think the 3D was fantastic.
I thought the only overdone 3D was showing the not Romanian soldiers on the field, but in anime today, you're not really going to get away with doing that with hand-drawn, just because it's
just too many things
it would be
animate.
too much.
Yeah.
So I could see why they went with 3D for like all of those shots.
And the other thing that I sort of noticed is like those the aerial maneuvers a little bit with the whole battalion was done in 3D, like that portion where they're getting ready for the fictional barrel fight, and you had two little groups split off and
bank off
squadrons. Would that be right?
Or flights?
No, I think they're all technically companies.
Yeah,
That's true.
but you got two of them like splitting off and taking their own sides of the battle. That was decent 3D. It didn't really stand out too much, but it was 3D. And then the heading home bit.
They're flying toward the camera.
Yeah, that was marginally 3D.
Truth be told, I didn't really notice because of how awesomely evil Tanya and everything she plans is in this episode.
Yeah, honestly, if you didn't say anything, I probably wouldn't have noticed or cared.
Yeah.
I would have noticed, but I wouldn't have cared.
He did say something. I still didn't notice or care. I guess it's easier to do it in, like, say, a realistic war anime instead of, say, something with something like, say, Handshakers, because that's a little more like garish in color selection,
they went
and more
overboard on that
flashy.
one. I don't think that I could compare Handshakers to fucking anything.
Well, fair enough, but I think it might be a little easier to utilize 3D effects like that, animating a whole bunch of things at once in an anime like this.
Yeah, it's also the fact that they're only animating like characters. Like I've seen really poorly done animation where they're animating like a bunch of soldiers. Like I think Lord Marksman and the Vanadis did it, where they animated like whole armies, 3D animation, and it looked awful.
And it looked like tiled.
Hell, even
basically.
some of like Tales of Hysteria.
Yeah, even in there,
Like the last few
even with
episodes of the last season.
Ufotable's good, but even there, like when you animate that many characters as
when you're trying to like recreate the Battle of Helm's Deep.
Yeah, and it's all 3D.
Nah.
It often doesn't look good. So
Fair enough.
But in
I
this
thought
case,
that it looked, as good as it was going to in this case.
yeah, in this case, they made all the 3D little sprites kind of really small, and so that they could maneuver them.
Easier to make each sprite independent, as
Yeah.
it were. Not just a bunch of like a block of everyone moving the same way.
Yeah. So it was a fantastic little piece when you really think about all the stuff that went down to it.
We do
And
love thinking about it.
They did a really good job of like giving you the scope of the situation, like the point of views and the that was just well done.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty well done.
And very exciting episode.
But again, that was far too. I was
The series-
enjoying Tanya far too much this episode to care.
Yeah, this series seems to just keep getting better and better.
Now when is it being actually come back?
I don't know. I got a feeling it's.
I don't know. Tanya's riding pretty high.
Yeah, the timing would be just right for that.
Hmm.
I don't know. Next week or the week after. It has to be coming soon.
No, next week. I'm pretty sure next week she might get some orders to do more of what she was meant to do, which is basically the capital.
Yeah, well, those kind of tactics.
Yeah.
Well, when not Germany actually declares war on not Romania, or vice versa, then she can actually advance on the capital legally.
Right.
So.
And destroy wrecking crew.
Yeah. So we might see that. I have a feeling that the war with not Romania is going to end very quickly. One could say a blitzkrieg, really. Anyway, so let us know what you thought of anime, what you thought of our reaction in the comment section below.
Yep. Thumbs up if you like it. Thumbs down if you don't.
But that's going to do it for this episode of Anime Reaction. As always, I'm DK.
I'm Zero.
And I'm Rizzo.
See you next time.
And go ahead and click on my face to go to our most recent Otaku Saga talks.
Click on my face to go to Otaku Saga Gaming, our gaming channel.
And click on the waifu to subscribe to Otaku Saga. And if you'd like to help support us, check out our Patreon page.
Ta-da!